death. For the first time on pay-per-view, WWE Fanatics Series presents every deal that was...
You're tuned to Starz Theater. Here's what's next.
You're watching the Starz Free Preview Weekend from DirecTV. Stay tuned for interviews with cast and crew.
I know what I like. I like movies, among other things. Sure, I'll watch the occasional chick flick, but I can't resist a good action movie either. For me, it's about choices. That's why I have Starz from DirecTV. There's always a great movie on anytime I want, no matter what kind of mood I'm in. I like movies, so of course, I have Starz.
And now, the cast and crew talk about their film, Sweet Home Alabama.
Nellie and Andrew are very much in love, certainly in the beginning of the film, and what's interesting about this film is that, you know, it sort of brings up the idea of there are relationships that can be about love and can be really nice and you know, amicable, but aren't necessarily the defining relationship of your life.
When he finds out that she's about to marry another man, I think he's not necessarily shocked. I mean, I think it's been 7 years since we've seen each other and since we've spoken. So we've definitely both been seeing other people. I do think, however, that he realizes that it's time for him to put into motion the belief in the destiny that we should be a couple, and that his reaction is not by any means pained or troubled. It's more, and maybe even is more gamey or playful in that sense, where he's decided, okay, now is the time where I need to show her, remind her that we're in love, that we've been in love since we were 10 years old.
Conversely, the relationship Melanie and Jake have is very tumultuous and argumentative and at each other's throats, but you can tell there's just so much passion in their relationship and that they're just determined to be together and that it's just meant to be. And in that respect, he is the only guy for her.
Normally what I've seen in romantic comedies, when there are two guys that you're trying to figure out, you know, who's she going to be with, somewhere along the end of the second act, something happens, and you discover one of those guys is a lousy person. And then the audience goes, oh, good, okay, we don't have to like it. We always like this guy over here. In this movie, what we've tried to do is we don't have that scene. They're both great guys because, frankly, in life, who you marry isn't necessarily because all the other ones were horrible. You marry somebody because it's just the right person. And so I think we've tried to move the bar a little bit and explore what is it exactly that makes you choose the one.
And working with her has been, it's an interesting relationship working with her because, you know, we battle through the whole movie. There's a lot of conflict. It's two people who have a relationship that is very, to some extent or another, it's very snide, I guess is the word. And so I think Reese and I have a lot of fun with each other within that energy.
It's about finding your soulmate. It's about finding the right person, and there are two good people, and it's a tough choice of like who is really your soulmate. So it's a love story.
It's sort of about self-discovery and learning to be okay with yourself, which I think is something that everybody sort of struggles with. It's like, you know, I think everybody can identify with wanting to be part of the in crowd or, you know, trying to fit in and then not being able to seem to make it work, and then suddenly when you're just doing nothing and trying to be yourself, everything seems to make sense again. And I think a lot of people can relate to that sort of idea. And it's beautiful and it's romantic and fun and funny and the characters are great, so you know, I think it's a great movie for everybody.